Good morning. As you can see, we're in the greenhouse. The tomatoes are in full swing. They're doing very well. And yeah, they're coming in strong, so I need to pick a lot of them. And then I'm just gonna give everything some watering because we haven't automated this part of our growing operation yet. And then one thing that's kind of been a struggle here in the greenhouse is pollination for things like the courgettes and the pumpkins. The pumpkin I did not plant, but it planted itself and it's looking healthy. The pumpkin that you saw, I hand pollinated because I've noticed that with the things that really need like good pollination, it's really not, there's not enough bugs in here. I think the flowers that I planted did help a little to attract those things, and we only have chicken wire to keep the chickens out, but somehow it's not enough to get them in here and really do the job well. They're not getting paid, so I can't really complain. So yeah, that makes for needing to hand pollinate. I've had some issues with the cucumber because of that as well, and the courgette. I now saw that we have a courgette with an open flower and then a flower, so I'm gonna put those two together to hand pollinate it so that it will actually turn into a full-size courgette. I hope that makes sense. If you're looking for tutorials, YouTube is your friend. I'm not really that type of channel. And it's not really an issue with the tomatoes because they pollinate themselves, and what you can do is kind of just shake them a little bit to help them, but in general they don't really need any type of help pollinating. Long story short, I'm gonna pick some tomatoes, pollinate the courgette, and then get on with it in the garden. Oop. This is the pollen that you need. It's as easy as that. And then it should grow into a courgette, a zucchini, whatever you want to call it. Now, so I did the same thing with this one, but as you can see, I missed this one, and then they just kind of shrivel up and die, and then it's better to just take them off. alle bijtjes erin?
En zo'n en kleine.
Ja, het is een kleine bloem, maar hij is heel hoog. Deze heeft een grote bloem en die is wat kleiner.
Deze is... Nee. Hier komt mama. 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 Hallo. De sound. Ja, ja. Het kata zat. Het die dozo. Ja, Zona.
Moet je het even laten zien?
Ja. Kijk maar.
Wat hebben we allemaal?
Deze.
Ja, een courgette.
Tomaat.
Een tomaat.
En een courgette.
Nog een courgette.
En dat.
En boontjes.
En boontjes.
Ja. Oké. Nou, dan gaan we maar weer naar boven.
Ja.
Zo hebben we het wel, denk ik.
Maar eenmaal op bed.
Hm? So this week I sowed more sunflowers. You might be thinking, Lea, you're crazy. Yes, I am a little bit. But this week I sowed some more sunflowers because I really want to see and try if I can stretch that and create a good late source of pollen for all the bees. And just for the stunning look, of course. And then I also sowed some more shelling beans because I saw they were doing pretty good. And I want to see if they can climb up the amaranth or the sorghum or whatever. So we're gonna try that. I know it's a little bit late and it's very hot right now, but why not try? I want to sow more veggies, more beans. So according to the package, I can still sow these, as well as some veggies verde. These are the green beans that we're growing right now, the bush beans. I also have the climbing ones, but I'm not loving them, and I'm really loving the bush beans. So I want to see if I can also get another batch of them going. So, yeah, let's do that. This weather also really has me thinking about how many people from Northern Europe, like ourselves, see coming here, and so this probably applies to myself as well. And they think, oh my god, I'm going to Portugal, it's gonna be amazing, I'll be able to grow everything there because it's a warm country. And it definitely is a warm country, but it's an arid climate. So tropical plants, I mean, you can try, and we'll definitely try if when we have a better setup. But they'll have a hard time because it's just so extremely dry here during the summer. And that's the thing about the interior of Portugal as well. We really have the extremes, so it's not so mild, nice and warm as it is on the coast. We really have the extremely hot and dry summers, and then we even can have some frost in the winter, and that makes for a very challenging growing climate. Now I'm talking about our particular region, the Castelo Branco district. It's not a case of, oh, you can just grow everything you want. So that is not to say don't come here, because it's a beautiful area, a beautiful district, but it has its challenges and you should be aware of them. And it's partially the reason why people have moved away, is because it's kind of hard to farm here and make things work, as well as that. And so that's also a reason why the land is cheap here, is because it's kind of a rough area in that sense. So just be aware. And lucky for us, we kind of like a challenge. We like to be on the fringes of things. That fits us, but it might not fit you. Okay, it's almost 8 now. I'm just watering the garden. It's it was a peak today. We saw 45 Celsius on the thermometer at the end of the afternoon, so that was quite intense. It's been like this for, I don't know, I'm not counting the days. It's been a lot. It's been kind of challenging, so that pretty much the only thing we do is water the garden, trying to keep it alive for now, and then the rest of the day we just chill out. It's still hot. So the garden is doing okay-ish. Some things are definitely struggling, very much trying to stay alive. Some of them are just fine, things like the amaranth and the sorghum, as well as the green beans look fine. But some things are also, I'm definitely noticing a little bit of a crop, a loss. Some things also have sunburn. I just saw this tomato that just looks burned. And I'm definitely noticing that on other tomatoes as well. I haven't pruned them very much for exactly this reason. I know that here the sun is just absolutely brutal in summer, and because it's not wet, so there's not a lot of moisture in the air, blight and things like that are not really an issue, so I don't prune that much, at least for the tomatoes here. Not it's hard to think. So yeah, it's still harvesting lots of things, still plenty of food to eat from the garden. So while this weather is definitely unusual, we'll have 1 or 2 days like this in a normal summer, like maybe a couple times per summer. But this 10-day spurt that we're in right now, 2 weeks even maybe, it's just really extreme, and I don't like to be dramatic. It's not really my thing, but it's reality, and it's something that we have to adapt to, because as you probably know, climate change is not just about it getting warmer, and we're definitely reaching some new peaks. It's also about being increasingly extreme, as well as unpredictable. So you have random late frosts and events like this where it's just very unusual, extra long hot periods, that kind of thing. So yeah, we learn, we adapt. And the thing with this heat is that I think a lot of people from Northern Europe, they kind of underestimate it. Like, you can kind of know that it gets hot here and like factually know that, but to experience it can be, it's a whole different thing. So yeah, I love it, but my brain also shuts down after 35 plus degrees, and I've seen a lot of people really struggle with it a lot, and I think we'll see that some of them will start to move away again once it gets more extreme and we have more of these very long hot spells. For us, it makes us extra motivated to start building our little cave on top of the mountain. So continue digging in there, and then over the winter hopefully we can get the bones of the house finished, and then we'll have a cooler place to seek shelter next year. So more on that later. First, survive the summer.